So I about had a client get tossed out of my shop by his shirt collar earlier. This was one that has been going on for a few weeks. Week or two. So a guy had come in our shop for a fob for a Hyundai car. I don't remember what year, what model, but it's a basic one. The keys for that one's not even a chip key. And my shop tech gave him a price, and he immediately was like, no, we need to negotiate that. That's too much. That's not too much. And we're talking like $135. That's the fob programmed everything. Good price in my opinion. Go down to Hyundai, see what they say. And he wanted to negotiate. We said there's no negotiating. So he goes round and round for a good bit. Finally leaves and wanted to know, we actually called him before he ordered to make sure he was going to be good with the price. He said, oh yeah, that's fine. It's fine. So we had talked about it in the shop. If he shows up, decides to play games, we're just going to tell him, we don't want to sell it to you. Goodbye. We're not playing games. I mean, he had wasted a good bit of our time. So the day arrives. It arrived yesterday. The guy actually walked in today. I'm not even sure if he'd been called yet about it arriving, but he came in and was ready for it. We thought he was immediately going to come in and start to try to do bargain with us, and that wasn't what he did. So he comes in, my tech grabs the programmer, they go out to the vehicle, comes back in, and I'm in the office doing research for another client. I can hear everything that's going on, but I'm not involved. And they come back in, and my tech comes in the office and grabs some key blanks that were on the counter and basically says to me, yeah, he mentioned it while we were out of the vehicle, and said, he still wanted to negotiate, blah, blah, blah. And he needed a key, and he was kind of complaining the key was only going to be like $6, something like that. It wasn't, it wasn't going to be much more, And so my tech's like, tell you what, we'll throw a key in, which is totally fine. That's the kind of stuff we do, especially for something like that. It's not a chip key. We're gonna get this guy to leave, be happy. We just didn't want to have, we don't like anybody be leaving mad, but we want them to understand our side as well. And so he cuts in the extra key, and it comes down to payment time, and the guy, it's like $133.75. I remember right, with tax and everything. And the guy hands my tech $130, and then takes the other money, which he had the other $3, and goes, you don't need this, and folds it back up and puts it back in his wallet and kind of stands there. And I hear my tech say something. Yeah, I can hear. They're at the front of the shop, but I can kind of hear. And he goes, no, it's $133.75. And the guy kind of heaves and haws, and he gives him the $3 more. And I didn't know he didn't pay the 75 cents. We have a little money jar up there, and again, it wasn't a big thing. This is one of those things. Let's not make a big thing, but but again, at this point, you're stealing. You're actively trying to steal from me. We told you what the price was. Pay the price, or you don't get the product. But tech made he has the authority to make that decision. You know what? I'm going to let it slide. He hands the guy the fob, and the guy had a question about how it worked, so they walked out in front of the store, just opened the door, and they did the panic, did the other functions, and my tech walks back in the store thinking he's done. The guy follows him back in and says, what else will you do for me? And the tech's like, what? What do you mean? Well, what else can you give me? And he wasn't looking for like what other service we would provide. He wanted to know what else he could get for free at that point. And it's like, at that point I'm hearing him, I'm like, you're about to get a boot up your butt. At this point, you're not reading the room, buddy. And I could hear him out there doing it, and my other tech had walked in and had said something to him, and they said, well, he goes, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, you can give me like a key ring, you know. Well, we have these ones we call giveaways. They're an inch, just a piece of wire. If we do a rekey, you get one of those. It doesn't cost anything hardly. Like, we'll give you one of these. Oh, no, I want a premium one. That's when I stood up and walked out of my office and walked up to them and said, your business here with us is done. You've made your purchase. It's all done. I need you to leave now. Have a good day. And I kind of did the blade hand pointing toward the door. And I stared at him for about 5 seconds, and I could feel myself. I'm like, I'm about to grab this guy and toss him out on the curb. I don't want to get charged for assault today, so I just turned around back in my office and did my thing. My shop tech had already walked in the other part of the shop, wasn't even looking at him anymore. And then the other guy, I'm sorry, the young lady that works for me, she was just kind of standing there, and they said the guy just kind of stood there awkwardly for a few moments and toddled on out the door. So really, to me, the fact that people think they can go into small businesses especially and push them around, you put those business owners in a really hard spot. We have a hard enough time competing amongst ourselves. We're also competing with giant mega corporations to make our living. It's not the easiest thing in the world. And every time you go in, I mean, they're trying to negotiate. They're using coupons or things like that. But pushing it so far beyond the line like that does nothing to help the situation. And all you're doing is damaging the relationship for other customers with those companies. So it's okay to ask for a discount, but be polite about it. And when they decline to give you one, accept that and either purchase from them or don't. Screw that guy, you know.